Yeah, my take is train them harder. And try to train them at game speed if you can in practice. And just like John was saying, if you can just train them harder. I don't know if a tournament should be easier than practice, but it should be close. I mean, that same intensity, which is hard. And you have girls and younger athletes, and you have people there. But I think the harder you train them in practice, the more prepared they are, which is tough.
I have a question. Yeah, so going back to that idea, so we want to train them really hard, but then how do we know that line where we get those reps where we have injuries? You know what we were talking about before? Kind of like, yeah.
So I'll take that. It goes back to knowing your athletes. And know that this is a basic principle of training. Every athlete's different, so you could have two athletes that do exactly the same workout. One's going to be hurt, and the other one's going to be, give me more, give me more, give me more. So it really goes back to knowing your athletes, not just on a physical level, not like in that way, but knowing what their physical capabilities are, but also know their emotional and social needs. Some you can push in different ways. It really goes back to knowing your athletes.
I'm sorry, I'm staring at time. I was thinking, one of the things is, I watch this happen with coaches a lot doing interval training and strength training, is they're beating a dead horse, right? So prescribed for that day is we're going to do 20 40-meter sprints. Athletes are smoked. Then the power output is low after the third one, right? So we're going to stand out there and do this. There's going to be no return on investment of time. The athletes can't generate enough power. They can't work hard enough because they're tired. And so we're inviting an injury. So it's like end of a long practice for them to do our conditioning, end of a long training cycle, whatever it is. But we get in this mindset where we're doing it, right? And maybe that's the day where you're like, you watch 3 sprints and you say, they don't got it. So we're going to go, we're done, we're out of here. We're going to come back and we're going to do this kind of work when we have the energy to do it appropriately, right? Because that's when that's what's going to hurt your people, is that fatigue, the lackadaisical. There's no reason, the power output's so low, you're not going to get any return on the time put in. And so as a coach, it's like, you got to be present and watching what's going on and know what you're seeing and react to it.
But that's a great question, Jordan. I mean, that's the question that every coach should be asking. Can I push them? Can I not push them? Nora talks a lot. Maybe it was Jim talking about, what's your bar at? What is your bar you want them to exceed? Is your bar low? Is your bar high? Is it really high? And I think over time, if their bar is high and you expect a lot out of them, this is how it's going to be every practice. So John's going to set the bar with his conditioning. That maybe they'll prepare for that and you can see them. But that's a great question. You should be asking that. If coaches aren't asking that, they're crazy, because if you're pushing them when they're I think Sonny asked me a question. Should you have practice after a Sunday tournament? So if it's Saturday Sunday tournament, it's an all-day Sunday. They're ready to schedule for practice on Monday. You have practice, because usually the volleyball practices here are Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. And there's always some tournament on Sunday, once in a while. Do you have practice on the next day? Do you not?
I mean, a recovery practice. They watch most. Sorry.
It's like a recovery practice. That's a good idea. Coming in and thinking that you're really going to take care of business after 2 days of tournament play. It's not mentally, physically, they're not going to be there. Watch how most high-performing, look at NFL teams, look at college football teams. What do they do post-game day? They'll come in, they'll do walkthroughs, they'll do recovery, active rest, take care of boo-boos and bumps and things like that. But it's not a practice where they're really going to come in and try to take care of business, because you just can't. You're pushed in a bad position. And all you're going to do is you're just going to deepen the hole that the guys are already in, guys and girls are already in.
So that's the thing. I just do like recovery day, bring them in for like a kumbaya session if you want to, but give them that mental and physical break. Even meeting them and just doing a foam rolling session or something just to get them off their feet, barefoot, having fun. Maybe they have a little hangout day in the sand or something like that. Just keep them mellow and keep them there. But yeah, same thing like with the pros in college. Just give them a break.
Northern Nevada,
Fair enough.
Sand and Reno. There's sand and Reno.
So you can think of, it's a play day, really. Or you go, everybody goes to the pool. Or they play something that they normally don't play. So think of it as active recovery, you know, but make it fun. Or give them the day off.
Play paddleball.
Pickleball.
I was reading an article. He's a field goal kicker coach. That's his job. He's a field goal kicker coach. He's the coach for these NFL kickers, for college kickers. And his whole thing is strategizing the whole season out for that big game, and then everything goes toward that. Because if you're working too hard too soon, these kickers, they don't kick as accurate. The distance is good. So he's like, you can't run them hot every single time, all the time. You got to try to figure out what your goal is and try to plan for that to get your peak performance then.